Hey everybody! So I'm back with the video. But first, before I start, I just want to say if you're watching this, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and once again, to everybody who has subscribed, who likes the videos, who comments, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. All right, so I'm just going to go down a few things I've been thinking about this week and that have happened. Um, yeah. Okay. So, Cowboy Carter. First, let me say, Beyonce, you did it again. That you just you are a true perfectionist because I'm sure in your mind you always think, I wonder if I can do that again. I wonder if I can do that again. And you just work to do the damn thing and take the risk and just fucking kill it. And that's why I love you. Okay, girl, I've been listening to this whole album from beginning to end. I have listened to it like 6 times. And I have to listen to Beyonce's albums a couple of times before I give like some kind of feedback on it. Like even since Destiny's Child days, because they would kind of tell like a story, and I love that. I love that with music. But especially now because her albums really tell stories with her life experience and the metaphors stuff like that, and they have a lot of imagery, particularly in this album. And I personally really like this album. There's so much imagery that is so comforting, and I think it's because I am from the deep south, not Texas, but Georgia. And running outside with no shoes, being at one with nature, just enjoying when spring comes in, and just summer is still my favorite season despite living in New York. Um, Even though I didn't see myself as being at one with nature, then I wouldn't have described it that way, but it reminded me of that, and I loved it. First of all, I love blues. I love blues. I grew up on it. My mom introduced me to the BB Kings, the Ray Charles, you name it. And I had a great aunt that actually sung country music and taught, I forget her name, one of these white country singers really how to sing as well. Anyway, but so I'm here for it. Okay, there's already an appreciation I have for this kind of stuff. So now I'm just gonna talk about what can be one of some of my favorite songs because I just like the whole body of work. So now my favorite song amongst them all is Yaya. Okay, not to mention my nieces call my mother Yaya as their grandmother because it's like a Spanish term, but it also doesn't sound like grandma or nana. Anyway, to us in English, but anyway, that's what they've been calling her. My oldest niece is 16. Anyway, so the first time I heard it, I said this is a clear connection between her and the legend, the global star. Okay, Beyonce's icon Tina Turner. I felt it. I felt that rolling on the river energy. I felt that rolling on the river dance coming. Beyonce straight up does whatever she wants because she welcomed us to Beyonce Cowboy Carter Act 2 and the Rodeo Chitlin Circuit on track 20. By track 20 is when she welcomed us. Okay, girl, but you did that. I'm going to tell you some of my favorite lines. Now, my family lived and died in America. Good old USA. Whole lot of red in that white and blue. History can't be erased. I said, that shit hit. Okay, and y'all know I'm a history teacher, so on and so forth. Yes, from slavery to lynchings to police murders, baby, it cannot be erased. And our blood, okay, is stained on this land and the flag, and at some point, y'all got to pay for that. All right, so this is our history, and you don't get to steal our music, country, blues sounding, and our music, our stories, and then just throw them away, baby. Okay, and Beyonce is reminding y'all on the pop culture scale. All right, so I just pray that we don't crash. Keep our Bible on the dash. When I tell you, for some reason, I just started laughing when I heard that because I'm gonna tell you what came back to me, and that's why I told y'all I think I like this album. It reminds me of the way I grew up. But now, if you know, you know. Okay, going to church every Sunday. People keep their Bibles on the dashboard, so it's there for Bible study, worship service, and some people even, I don't care, people who are involved in church in the South, they do that for some reason. And even if they have their Bible and like a pack of cigarettes in the dash, they got it. And I don't know why that just cracked me up. I was like, Beyonce, you really got the essence, okay, of Black Southern life. Um, Put them babies to the bed, sweat out the sheets. I had you up all night and now you don't want to leave. I said, you know what? I'm going to use that line. Okay, I want to use that line. All right, Beyonce. Yes. Oh my gosh. Got these slugs in my mouth. When I don't take them out. That made me actually want slugs for a second. But then I came back to my senses. But see, that's how good Beyonce is. She make you want to do that stuff. I'm really shaking this camera. I'm excited. 16 Carriages was one of my favorites from the first time I heard it. And once again, there's so many levels to the song. What she's able to do in a matter of minutes is incredible. And I'm one of those people, if there's one thing I have learned in life, and that I really learned to appreciate, especially in obtaining my PhD, I know what it takes, how hard somebody has to work for something to be good. I'm not a singer or performer, obviously, okay? But I respect hard work and commitment to any kind of craft because I know how much that takes out of you. And Beyonce does that all the time. And I feel like when she gives art, when she gives music, she still understands us as an audience that she appreciates. And therefore, we're not, although we're not simply customers to her. And fans, while they consume your product, shouldn't just be treated as customers. This is something to sell to them, so they buy it. And I respect that so much. But 16 Carriages, I teared up the first time I heard that and teared up subsequent times after I heard it. And it just touches me. I don't want to explain it because it's personal, but just know it hits home. Two Hands to Heaven is a beautiful track that I have played over and over again on repeat. And this is one of those albums that's an album that you just don't mind letting it play. And that says a lot. For me. B.B. King's Cook County Jail performance is one album I can let it play. Nina Simone's Finest Hour is another album I can just let play through over and over again without skipping anything. Who else is that? A Seat at the Table with Solange is another album I can play like that. But very few make that list. And I listen to a lot of music. A lot. Now Beyonce, like I said, you are the soundtrack to my life. But baby, as much as I like this album, much as I love you, you lost me at one point. And I'm going to tell you where you lost me. All right? And it was with Jolene. Ma'am, I appreciated all the musicianship, all the imagery, artistry, everything. Up until that point, when you said, quote, I can easily understand why you're attracted to my man, but you don't want this smoke. Beyonce, after all of these years that I have watched you, tried to imitate you, listen to your music, and I'm happy for all of you and your success. You deserve all of it and more. Because black people achieving and doing great things that will leave impressions long past their life is impressive, but few people giving them their flowers. And we know the Grammys has still snubbed you. You deserve all the success. But ma'am, what I cannot do is be delusional on your behalf. All right, Jay-Z got to be one of the ugliest motherfuckers alive. Period. Maybe alive or dead. Okay? And has always been. Since the days of Big Pimpin'. I don't care. I don't care. That means when I was like 10, I was still going, ain't enough money in the world. And yes, I do believe you love him. Because that is the only reason. Okay? But what we're not going to do is say, I can easily understand. And then you said, and say, easily understand why you're attracted to my man? Girl, bye. I could not imagine waking up to anybody with a fucking Jurassic Park face like that. I can't do it. Okay, but Beyonce does. And she's happy with it. And I would say that's all that matters. But see, now, Beyonce, you brought us into this with Jolene by just giving that line. I would have still let it go because I would have been knowing you were fighting for your family. But girl, we got to stop. And y'all thirsty chicks got to stop that's inspiring these songs. Because I don't understand it. I don't get it. He is ugly by the most objective standards. I just don't. I don't. He will never have enough money. He couldn't be nice enough, kind enough. I just don't fuck with it. Now, does Blue Ivy, Rumi, and Sir look like him? Yes. And Beyonce. And they're all, guess what? Stunningly beautiful and handsome. Because two people can look alike And one be ugly and the other one beautiful. Biology, genetics is an amazing thing. Is it just me, y'all? I know Beyonce had songs to all her kids, but I get the feeling, just based on the way we saw Renaissance, the way we see Blue, and we see Rumi show up, I think Sir, you know how like when you have twins, usually one is like really outgoing and one is quiet. They seem to be opposites, at least in personality, not like in terms of intellect, but just in terms of personality. I think Sir is the quiet one and the shy one. Like I don't think he likes all the attention, and they like respect that by keeping him private. And I just think when Beyonce did the Black is King album and dedicated to her son, and was it Rose? Rose is dedicated to Sir. Um, I just think he's like the quiet one, and I think that's sweet. But I'm not. But I'm still on Jay Z. So now, as my sister said, when I brought this up to her, because I was like, she can easily understand how you're attracted to her man. Now, see, if she would have said, I can easily understand why you're attracted to my man because he's with me. See, now, see, that's a line. That's a line. That would hit. I could have rocked with it. Okay? Because there are a lot of women who want men just because they're with beautiful women and they're jealous of those women they're with. And they want to make something. They want to, I'm sorry, make something. They want to take something from her and hurt that woman that they're jealous of. Whatever they're jealous of about that woman, they want to take something from her. And one of the most efficient ways to do that when it comes to women is to have sex with their man, or in this case, her husband, and cause turmoil in the family, something that will hurt her. I'm just saying, but Beyonce, you got to miss us with the easily understand, because I don't understand it, and I just, that lyric need work. That need a remix. All right, so speaking of hoes that don't know their place, Becky, Jolene, Rosario, whoever. All right, Daughter. And Daughter, I really like that one, and I know y'all sitting there like, well, you say like the whole album. I know, I'm just touching on certain songs. The difference is that I am a lot like my father, and people have always said that. Anyway, I want y'all to stop saying Beyonce killed Jay-Z's mistress. And by y'all, I mean just things I've been seeing on TikTok. Okay, not y'all. But if you are saying it, stop. Now, I do think she has fantasized, as we can tell through this song, about murdering the bitch or bitches in this case that helped break her heart. And I say help because Jay-Z is a grown, old, almost AARP man. And threatened the stability of her family. Okay? Which is something she has tried desperately to keep private and has, by and large, I think, been successful. But that's why music is therapeutic. Okay? The way writing stories and writing can be therapeutic. It gives you a chance to imagine and call out what you would have liked to do to somebody through characters or scenarios. And I can see easily, now this is what I can easily see, all right, the story of a fan and somebody who is a fan of her music and tries to therefore kind of snake in and wheedle their way around her to get to her husband because they're jealous and they feel like she has everything and they want to take it from her. But in true cowboy, cowgirl, Wild West fashion, you'll lose your life fucking around with me. Okay? And that's what Beyonce basically said. And some of y'all think she has admitted to murder. You gotta be a goddamn fool to think somebody like that would admit to that. Certainly in a song. Did y'all not listen to Renaissance? Those people making them little stupid TikTok videos 1,000 times? Because I did. Okay? What did she say? Stops at a crime that I want to make you mine. Who do you think she was talking about? This is her imagination. Okay? Stop playing. So anyway, there is so much on this album and plenty of metaphors, imagery, and stories, like, and lessons. Like, and it is a true mark and the true work of what it means to be an artist. It really is. Beyonce deserves to be where she is in life. She does. And Beyonce, talk about influence on black girls, black women, because yes, she belongs to us. Because whenever white people have a star, it's their star. Whenever Latinos have a star, it's their star. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to the black community, oh, they belong to everybody. The language changes. No, she belongs to us. And y'all get to appreciate it, but she belongs to us. Okay? So her influence on black girls, black women, and people all over the world, even the little people like me, you have had a grand influence with just this album. So this is my first year teaching 5th grade US. I told you I teach a slew of grades at an independent school. So because middle school starts in 4th grade, I teach 4th grade general history. I teach 5th grade US, 10th grade U.S. history, and then I have an elective for my 11th and 12th graders, and it's Black activism in the 20th and 21st centuries. All in a day, okay? But that's what we're teachers. You don't think about it to the end of the year, hopefully, so you can just keep pushing. But anyway, I decided that since this is my first year teaching 5th grade and I'm still creating a blueprint, I am developing curriculum for this next unit, and starting with Unsung Heroes of the Wild West. So I'm looking at and teaching about the indigenous cowboys, African American cowboys and cowgirls, and along with the people who, we already know the white man image of it all. So thank you, Beyonce. You have inspired me, okay? I have done some research on the Library of Congress website to help me work through this stuff, and I have also solidified a graphic novel to help the kids along with it after we do regular lessons, okay? Thank you, girl. K. Michelle, also, please hurry up and drop that country album you've been talking about, because you have sung country songs on your R&B albums for quite some time, and that stuff is fire. Okay, and I know Beyonce sent you some flowers. Girl, we want to hear it. So this TikTok thing, this is a separate topic. This TikTok thing I've seen with the balloons, and for what I understand, it's like on YouTube as a show where they just use the excerpts on TikTok, and it just shows up on my For You page. I would not go looking for this foolishness. I have no idea why it's showing up. I don't like it. Okay, like it has the women, it either has a long line of women, long line of men, and then they choose one woman or a man. They go down the line. They pop the balloon when they don't like somebody or whatever. Honestly, I think it's cruel. Like, it's set up for primarily black men and women. At least that's what I've seen. And at least, whether it was black men or black women, I would still see it as degrading either way. But we all know things like this. Women will get the most disrespected. I mean, black men saying things like, you're like, oh, why'd you pop? I mean, she looks like she has a bad attitude. She's not my type because of her complexion. Like, I don't even know why people would even sign up for this shit. Especially after seeing how this plays out. There is an epidemic in this country of loneliness. And more unmarried people than there has ever been in, like, throughout really the centuries. And I think a lot of people think individually something is wrong with them, and that's therefore why they're not married. So apparently they are willing to subject themselves to another person, in this case, a person of the opposite sex, to another person's daily and immediate thoughts that people have in regards to their individual attraction or not to them. It's not you. Especially the way many people think it's them. Am I ugly? Am I not nice enough? Do I not have enough materially? So on and so forth. And the gag is they making money off of you thinking you don't have enough. Ain't that something? Anyway, so what it is this unregulated capitalism. The lack of regulations, and that's why you have billionaires. Nobody in the world needs that much goddamn money. And we have been brainwashed, well, some of y'all have been brainwashed into thinking that is the life to aspire to. And it's not. It's greedy. And people keep thinking, oh, this is increasing number of billionaires. No, it's not. They've just made them more visible to us because they're actually talking. Because a lot of them really have low self-esteem. They just love the fact that somebody wants to interview them and maybe they can get a spot on the blogs. They are low self-esteem, greedy motherfuckers. All right. Now, so in this capitalist system that we're currently living in, okay, that overworks the overwhelming majority of citizens, regardless of degrees and position, then underpays us, so we have to work more. We're usually exhausted. We can't get mortgages for homes at the same rates people used to. And I mean like the percentages on like, lending and that kind of thing. Because they're not paying us enough. People are being punished for going to college and graduate school by the exorbitant rates of college loans, graduate loans, which used to actually only have a small amount of interest because they actually expected you to pay it back and not just continue to pay interest way past what you borrowed. All right? Shout out to Reverend Adam Clayton Powell Jr., who was the former pastor of Abyssinian Baptist Church in New York and was the chair of the Education and Labor Committee, which passed those laws for student loans for the free breakfast program because he took what the Black Panther Party was doing and said, let's make it a federal law. Study your history, okay? And he was the first black congressman from New York ever, and fought to make Harlem its own district so black people in Harlem could have representation instead of them gerrymandering the district. So even if they did have black votes, they would end up with white representatives who did not have their interest at heart. Moving on. So they've allowed Wall Street bankers and CEOs to have an unprecedented amount of control. Maybe actually not unprecedented, since the time of slavery, where you were just allowed to make as much money as possible, not pay into a public pot, so on and so forth. These Wall Street bankers, these CEOs who can pay ridiculous prices, okay, for their kids' college educations and leave them with no debt, which is a very small number of people, and will give them, and I do mean give, hand out, okay, jobs to them where they make exorbitant amounts of money, even if they are fucking dumb asses, because you only fail up when you're rich and white. And most wealthy people are white. The overwhelming number, that's the way they set it up. It's called racialized capitalism. And they've been marketing this and doing this since the freaking 15th century. Go study. I'm not going to get into a whole lesson about it. Now, Beyonce has plenty of money, right? Jay-Z, when they add up all his stuff, say he's a billionaire. It's just like y'all said Kanye was a billionaire, and then when he said something about Jewish people, all of a sudden he wasn't. He was never a billionaire. They were counting up things that he's attached to via what they think they know about him in terms of investments, stocks, endorsements. Like, cut it. Okay? Learn what you're listening to. All right? Beyonce has plenty of money. But she also is always working hard. Very hard. And that's the difference between forms of white wealth and whatever constitutes as black wealth. Because wealth is money that makes itself. Okay? That's why the owners of Johnson & Johnson, the owners of, what's another one? Kellogg's. The owners of, what's another big one? Johnson & Johnson, Kellogg's, General Mills. All these people, that those are products that make themselves. They could go 7 generations again and nobody have to work. Okay, that's what wealth is. Rich is when you make a lot of money, but you have to keep working for it. Okay? Beyonce is essentially still a worker in many ways. Okay? Because we are descendants of slaves. All right? So you have a government that cons the educated into believing that they'll have a better life if they go and get educated. But you can only get it if you take out these ridiculous loans. And some of us actually paid attention in college. And we understand the system that has locked us down into this perpetual debt. And we're angry about it. And we're angry that the structures that are created will ultimately have to be destroyed in order for us to change it. And it sucks. Because all regular people are asking not to live like billionaires, although some are delusional enough to believe it. Billionaires can only exist if people are impoverished. Capitalism only exists. It makes it necessary that people are impoverished. And it doesn't apologize for it. The theories on capitalism that exist, they're clear about that. The problem is everybody thinks it's going to be them that gets rich, so oh well. And then it never happens. By and large, it does not happen. Anyway, the thing to blame is neoliberalism. Look it up. Because it has mind fucked us into believing once again that the individual is responsible for everything that happens to them. And so if you can't get married, even though marriage is on decline across the world, I get it, okay? We are all human beings. We all want to be loved and in a relationship and in a society that values marriage. You would prefer that. I know that many people like that, whether, they admit it or not. And we all, want to be involved with somebody we're physically attracted to, so on and so forth. But those in power who need to be removed, okay, are putting us in crippling debt with rip-offs like 26% interest on a credit card and shit. So please stop feeling like the need to figure out something that is wrong with you, because I'm getting back to the balloons, and letting randoms basically give their off-the-dome impressions of you as a way for you to decide what's wrong about you and what you need to fix. I'm a firm believer that not everything you know, and certainly not everything you think, needs to be said aloud. And honestly, the back and forth between the choosers and the balloon popping victims is another form of playing the dozens in the digital age. And that's all I'm going to say. Anyway, and Congress, Y'all need to take y'all's old decrepit asses and either retire or fix this motherfucking economy. Because regardless of what y'all tell yourselves, y'all actually should not be working for Wall Street. Y'all work for the people. We're the ones that vote for you. Okay? Instead of worrying about TikTok, because they are legit afraid that people are learning too much. They actually admitted this on the floor. And see, a lot of y'all don't watch C-SPAN and stuff. I'm telling you, they've been telling us who they are for a long time. And now we see why they spend a disproportionate amount of our country's budget, and has been really since its inception, on defense and weapons. Because that's how America has maintained its money. Slavery and imperialism, taking over other places, claiming they're doing it in the name of democracy. And when you take it over, you don't have to pay those people for resources that you're getting, whatever they may be, coal, sugar, coffee, whatever it is. Bring it back to the United States and sell it. But see, you don't have to pay the cost of exchange because you've now taken away that country's power. But see, we also see that we don't value education when we look at the U.S. budget. Look it up, okay? They have to publish it. And if you look at the U.S. budget, even when they show you the percentage on education, they try to convince you, oh, see, that's the highest part of the budget. Okay, and I also want y'all to know that never mind, I'm going to start here. Head Start and kindergarten count as part of the education budget. Kindergarten through 12th. Additionally, college loans, college grants, all of that counts. Grad plus loans used for people in law school, graduate school, so on and so forth. All that counts toward the budget. And if that much of the budget is in loans with significant interest on it, they still act like that's part of the money they're spending when you're going to have to pay it back for more than what you lent it for. Significantly more. Okay? So even the budget includes loans that the citizenry has to pay back. So please know what you're looking at. So I'm probably, just so y'all know, I probably won't do the Potomac review until Tuesday. I have a regular work day on Monday, which is, always exhausting. And then we're having a baby shower for one of my colleagues. So I won't get home until later. And let me just say, I'm just letting y'all know that. But let me just say, to anybody who doesn't believe in global warming and climate change, please go read a book on it. And I'm dead ass. We had a whole earthquake on Friday here in New York City. And yes, I felt it, and so did the kids. We were in third period on the 8th floor, and the higher up you are, you feel it. And it was quaking. And the kids were like, what was that? What is that? Well, one kid was like, is that an earthquake? And they were like, no. And I said, yeah, it's probably construction. You know how thin the walls are, and they're always doing construction. Don't worry about it. It'll pass. Oops. And I just kept going on with the Great Depression. Then all of a sudden, I hear all this beeping. I was like, is that a fire drill? And they were like, no, it's an Amber Alert. They pull up their phones. They go, oh, it was an earthquake. That happened. But why would I expect an earthquake in New York City? Why would I know that? I lived out in L.A. I cried after every one of them. I didn't feel the need to cry because I didn't really think that's what it was. Sorry, I didn't expect it in New York City. Okay. And we are going to have a solar eclipse on Monday. Between today and tomorrow, y'all better do something y'all love. Eat all the food, drink all the alcohol, hang out with whoever you want to hang out with, because it seems the apocalypse is knocking at the door. And had this earthquake not happened before the solar eclipse, I wouldn't be saying that, even though we know the world is coming to a goddamn end. But some of y'all know I love science fiction, especially black speculative fiction and Afrofuturism, and the godmother of it, Octavia Butler. So I'm kind of into this stuff. The school's gonna be providing glasses, but they're free all over New York. You can go to libraries and get them. And I got my solar eclipse shirt from Old Navy. Shout out to Old Navy. I used to work there through college and even in graduate school, and I'm wearing it tomorrow. But y'all can watch it live on NASA. They're gonna be covering it too. That might be better for your eyes. All right, so that's all I got to say. Y'all have a great week, and I'll talk to y'all soon.